Hello, everybody. This is Gretchen Hidell bringing you This Week in Astrology. I'm a full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, hypnotist, and so much more. And I'm going to be going over This Week in Astrology, the week of starting January 31st all the way until February 5th. 2022. We have a lot of things going on astrologically this week. It's not like a varied week, but it really is concentrated. Some of these days have some real concentrated energy associated with it. I'm going to be going over Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde. A lot of planets are changing direction. Mercury and Venus. And then also we're going to be getting into the new moon and the Chinese Lunar New Year is going to be taking place as well. So you don't want to miss it and you want to stay till the end. So getting started right away is just a little bit before on January 29th, 2022, Venus is going to be turning direct. Now, Venus has been retrograde, if you guys remember me talking about this, all the way since December 19th, 2021. So for roughly the last 6 weeks or so, it's been retrograde in the astrological sign of Capricorn. Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde both were retrograde at the same time for the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks of January, they've been like simultaneously retrograde. Not fun. So Venus retrograde is putting us through a stress test in our love life, in our financial life, and if you're an artist, a creator, beauty, all that kind of stuff is a Venus retrograde type of thing. And so that's kind of putting us through the paces and stressing out our relationships and stressing out our bank accounts and all kinds of things like that. The planets are not there to like kind of work us over. In other words, it's just a period of time really where we're going to be kind of focusing on those things. And, you know, the key is to learn from it and hopefully to grow. Now, some things don't pass the stress test. Let's just put it that way. And almost every single time there's a Venus retrograde period, a big actor, an actress, or famous people will break up, okay? Usually there's like a headline kind of thing. And for sure, this particular Venus retrograde was Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa. And that's been all over the news. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard about it, but it's like pretty much everywhere. And so that's been the big celebrity couple breakup. Now, Jason Momoa is, shocker, a Leo. I mean, you could totally see he's a Leo. And she's actually, Lisa Bonet is a Scorpio. But those two basically called it quits during this particular Venus retrograde. So RIP for their relationship. But basically, in your own life, you might have had strain with relationships. I say relationships because it's those we love, but sometimes those love relationships are familial relationships or friendship relationships. It's just people we love and care about. It gets put through the paces and sort of, you know, stressed out a little bit in order for us to learn. This is actually a time of learning. It's growing. Sometimes we don't learn and grow until we make mistakes or until we encounter a talking to or something and we didn't even know that bothered our partner or whatever it is. And so that's what Venus retrograde is here to show us. Where does our relationships need to be strengthened and fortified? And often that comes through them breaking down. And then we see where we're going wrong or where they're going wrong. And then hopefully to rebuild. And if it doesn't make it through that process, then it collapses and then it makes room for something new coming into our life that might work better and that's more in alignment with what it is we want. And so that often happens during the Venus retrograde. So again, that's been going on since December 19th all the way until Saturday at 3:46 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday the 29th. Was when it goes direct. Now remember, these planets don't just, it's not like a light switch. It doesn't just come on and off, okay? It's like a car. It has to slow down, stop, and then it goes forward and whatever reverses or whatever it's going to do. So it's called stationary direct, is now the phase that we're in, where it's no longer retrograde and it's going direct. So the station, it backed up, stationary, direct, and then it starts to move forward. And so that's going to be happening this week with Venus retrograde. Now, like I said, Mercury retrograde, same thing happened. With Mercury has been retrograde since January 14th of last. Mercury retrograde always lasts for 3 weeks, 3 times a year. Now that retrograde started off in Aquarius, but it backed up and backed up and backed up until it went back into Capricorn again. Now it's going to be going direct, and that's going to be happening on Thursday, on February 3rd, and mark your calendar, 11:13 p.m. Eastern time. So right at the end of the day on Thursday, it'll be going direct. And so we had lessons. Mercury is communication, and it's travel and how we stay connected. So it's, planes, trains, automobiles, but it's also cell phones and computers and printers and electronic equipment for sure. And that is a Mercury retrograde and how that affects us. So again, communication and love retrograde at the same time. So a lot of people in private session with me doing astrological readings have been talking about how it's been kind of rough in the last 2 weeks. Well, that's why. Those two, they're called personal planets in astrology because they're close to the Earth. So we feel the impact of them more strongly than, let's say, Pluto retrograde or Uranus retrograde, where they're further away. These two are up and close and personal with the Earth, and so we feel them more directly, and they're more impactful. And especially when you talk about Mercury talking and the communication, and then Venus love and our expression of emotions and stuff. Oh my goodness, that's all personal. That's really personal stuff. So we should hopefully, once these two slow down, stationary direct, and then start going forward, both of them, it'll take a little while. And sometimes the week that they change direction, in either way, either at the start or at the end, like it is right now, it can be feeling a little wonky because it's like, wait, we're going forward, backward, what? Like left, right, where are we going? So sometimes it takes a little while for the kinks to be worked out of these planets going direct, but at least it's in a good direction. Direct is what we want. Now on Sunday, on January 31st, the sun is going to form a square with Uranus. And, so the sun is in Aquarius right now. Uranus is in Taurus right now. And remember, Uranus is lightning, it's electricity, it can be shakeups, earthquakes, volcanoes. And remember, it can just be anything that's kind of out of the blue or shocking or something. Now, it just so happens, and I have that somewhere around here. I have a map. Sometimes I show that in my broadcast. But Uranus is hovering right off the coast of the East Coast. And at the time of me recording this, I'm recording this a little ahead of time. We have what's called a bomb cyclone or something headed our way, like a snowpocalypse, right off of the East Coast, and that's where the Uranus line is. So I actually do think this is going to be quite impactful, and Uranus is electricity, and then Mercury is still retrograde, which is communication and computers and cell phones, and so you get those two, Mercury and Uranus, being a little naughty at the same time. That's not going to be good for the folks that are living on the coast. Uranus line is a little outside off of the East Coast, out in the Atlantic, but it still is right there, so it's going to affect the coastal region really strongly. I think there's supposed to be 75-mile-an-hour winds at the same time as like a major blizzard, hurricane, snowpocalypse, like I said, a snowicane. I don't know, but there's all these new terms, so I'm just trying to keep up. But anyway, I think it will really affect those things, electricity. So everybody, please be safe, all my friends here on the East Coast. And I'm praying. I'm in Vermont. I don't know if it's going to be affected quite as strongly as the coastal area, but I do feel it's gonna really impact Maine and, you know, Cape Cod and all the different places. So we'll stay tuned for that one. Now, the big news this week, and I really want to spend a little bit of time on this one, is on Tuesday we have a dual fun thing. We have a new moon and we have the Chinese Lunar New Year happening at the same time. So we are going to be entering the year of the tiger this year. So that's kind of exciting. And then we have the new moon on the same day. And that's going to be coming on February 1st, 2022. And the exact time is 12:46 a.m. Eastern time. So pretty much right after midnight. So for those of you living out on the West Coast, it'll be, what is that, 9:46 p.m. You'll be getting it on Monday night. And then us on the East Coast will be getting it on Tuesday early morning, right after midnight. And so that's going to be the new moon. Now, here's the fun thing about this particular new moon in Aquarius, okay, because it's Aquarius season, so the new moon is always in the same sign as the sun. So the sun's in Aquarius, so the moon's going to be in Aquarius, 12 degrees Aquarius. And so this is basically the time, oh, and here's the other thing. It's a super new moon, okay? It's only one, I think either the only one or the one of two. I didn't write that down ahead of time. But it's a special new moon, meaning that it's a super moon. Now, you guys hear me talk about super full moons where it looks like it's close from the earth and the full moon's gigantic and it's like, wow, look at that big full moon. With a new moon, you can't see it, you know, from the earth because it's dark, but it doesn't matter. We still get the gravitational pull. We still get the energy of it. So it's going to be a super new moon. And like I said, the Chinese New Year. So this particular, even though Mercury's still retrograde, I know, Mercury's still retrograde, but I would say this is a very, very, very powerful manifesting. This particular new moon has got a real wallop to it, okay? So it's going to be in Aquarius, 12 degrees Aquarius, like I said. And so this is the time, okay, for us to go ahead and write down our new moon manifestation list, okay? Just as a recap and a reminder, you want to write all the things that you'd like on the list. Don't dictate how they come. Let go of the how, okay? Just, you know, whatever it is you would like, more abundance, more love, more, you know, whatever it is you want, good health and wellness and all that type of stuff. You want to be able to write that down on the list and then fold it up under your pillow and then sleep on it for 2 weeks. Then you're going to burn or destroy it during the next full moon, which is going to be coming on February 16th in the sign of Leo. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now, personally, I like to write a note thanking the universe or thanking the angels or thanking whoever you feel guided to thank for bringing me all the things that I, you know, was asking for the previous time or the time before that, or even just the blessings that my angels have brought into my life. And so, yeah, so that's a wonderful time to manifest. Again, it's right going to be after midnight. So you might even want to do this on Monday night before you go to bed and then put it under your pillow and sleep with it like that, because that'll be fun. So Aquarius is very open-minded, very futuristic, very prone to, you know, inventions and technology and all kinds of things. Aquarius is I have nicknames. I don't know if other astrologers call them that, but I say Aquarius is the change makers. They're the change makers of the zodiac. So what do you want to change in your life? You know, what do you want to bring into your life? And a lot of times Aquarius is about changing things, like, you know, for the better. They might be a bit radical or a bit against society or a bit against what your family thought you should do or whatever. In other words, they're the rebel and they're the change makers. So where do you want to rebel in your life? Where do you want to change things up? And where do you want to just stop listening to what other people are saying? You want to kind of do your own thing. This is a very rebellious, independent, self-sufficient, don't tell me what to do new moon. Okay, so where do you want to rebel in your life? And that's really And where do you want to make a change? You know, a lot of big, you know, inventors and forward thinking people have, you know, have that, you know, in their chart. You know, Oprah Winfrey in Aquarius, Ellen DeGeneres in Aquarius, Abe Lincoln is an Aquarius. You know, we have a lot of real, you know, futuristic, independent thought type folks with that are Aquarius. And so I think harnessing some of that independent, that, you know, rebellious sort of energy for yourself is going to be a wonderful thing. Now, obviously, if you are an Aquarius, this is going to really be hitting you impactfully. As well as other air signs. So if you're a Gemini or if you're a Libra, you'll be definitely feeling and this is going to be good because it's activating air energy. Aquarius is an air sign. Even though it's called the water bearer, it's a very confusing thing. The nickname of Aquarius is the water bearer, but it's an air sign. Go figure. But if you are a fellow air sign, or remember, what needs air? Fire. So if you're a fire sign, if you're an Aries, Leo and Sag, you'll be getting, this will blow in some nice, you know, refreshing, gentle breeze into your life. However, if you're a water sign or an earth sign, this might be a little bit more challenging for you. And I did say Leo is a fire sign. The only thing about Leo is this is going to be your opposite sign. So for Leos specifically, this could feel a little bit almost like a full moon for you guys, because it's the opposite. So how are they opposite? Well, Leo likes to be special. Leo's royalty. Leo likes to be catered to. Leo and Aquarius is like, we're all one, man. You know, we're all one. We're all connected. We're who cares about all that stuff? So Leo has something to learn from Aquarius, and then Aquarius does have stuff to learn from Leo too. Sometimes you have to treat certain people in your life like they are a little special, like let's say your spouse, or let's say, you know, someone that's your best friend or something. I mean, you have to kind of give credence to specialness to certain people. It's not just one size fits all. So that can be the difference between the two. They're both fixed signs. So also if you're a Taurus or Scorpio, Leo or Aquarius, like I said, they're all the fixed signs. This will be activating that fixed energy. Now, fixed, we keep talking about this bomb, cyclone, hurricane, whatever thing, and then the air signs, and then Uranus. And who's the ruler of Aquarius? Well, it's Uranus, so that's going to be activated on Sunday. So you see where all this is going. There's a lot of air energy, and we're having a, you know, some kind of hurricane situation going on as well. But a fixed sign is fixed. It's exactly how it sounds. So Aquarius is, even though they're unique, even though they're different, it's usually their idea, okay? It's not, someone didn't tell them what to do, in other words. And if somebody does tell an Aquarius what to do, there's always usually a pushback, because again, it's the sign of the rebellion. So a fixed sign is fixed. Well, what happens in a hurricane with an oak tree? Okay, it'll fall over. What happens with a hurricane and a palm tree? It bends. So we have to remember not to be too fixed in our way. Sometimes being fixed is good. Oak trees are the foundation, you know. I mean, oak trees in our lives, you know, when you have a friend that's solid and steady and you know they're going to be that way and that's the way they are, that's reassuring. So the fixed signs are the foundation of our lives. It's just that we don't want to be too fixed and too rigid, you know. Just because someone suggested it, maybe it is a good idea. Maybe we don't need to push against it or fight against it. But again, you guys are the rebels, so I have a little bit of Aquarius in my chart as well, and I can be a little bit of a rebel for sure. See the little twinkle in my eye. So anyway, so there's that. Now, Aquarius, this stone related to Aquarius is garnet, and I happen to have a garnet here. Beautiful, beautiful garnet. It's really heavy. It's a beautiful stone. I think that garnets are very good if you want to harness your Aquarius energy around this time. Another stone that I think might even, this is like if you want more rebellion energy and you want more fiery energy and you want to be able to, kind of do that thing, I think that this garnet is really good for that. However, I feel that fluorite is very good for Aquarius. Aquariuses tend to have a lot of problems with their nervous systems and kind of getting ungrounded, having a lot of anxiety. And so fluorite is said to help with EMFs. I don't know about all that, but if it helps you to feel better, from computers and the EMFs, the electromagnetic fields, from devices, that might be good. But I think it helps to also ground and just kind of, gather in the energy that gets very scattered. Aquarius definitely has, a lot of Aquarians I know have a lot of sort of anxiety type of energy. So this can help with that, and kind of, it's like soothing, it's very soothing. So if you want more Aquarian energy, the rebellion and the ability to say, screw you, I'm going to do my own thing. This is, Garnet is, and also I think Garnet, even though it helps us to harness some of that Aquarian energy, I also do feel that Garnet is very good for if you have any issues or problems with the root chakra, okay, safety, security, survival, fear, all that stuff. Garnet can be a very grounding one, short of the dark colored stones that I'm always promoting and talking about, which are the onyx, the jet, the black obsidian, all those stones. If you think about it, the next one down color wise, because garnets are very, very deep red, is black. Okay, so it goes from that color to black. So that's good for grounding and kind of coming back in. I don't mind this stone for grounding. I think it's a good stone for grounding, but I also think that fluorite will help a little bit with pulling in that nervous energy. So make sure you write your new moon manifestation list. And then also on the same day, Tuesday on February 1st, we have a beautiful new year starting, a Chinese New Year. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this because Chinese New Year and Chinese astrology, I should say, is not my forte. It's not my primary. I'm a Western astrologer. I live in the United States of America, and this is the area of the world that I study astrology. However, I do know a little bit about Chinese astrology, so I'm just going to do a general overview because this is going to be the year of the water tiger. Now, in Chinese astrology, there's 5 elements, not 4. And so water is still the same in Western and in Eastern astrology, which means, water is a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more empathic, okay? So what year was Year of the Tiger? So the last time the Year of the Tiger took place was actually 2010, okay? And that was the last tiger year, so if you want to think back to what happened in 2010. And if you were born in any of these years, you are born during the Year of the Tiger. If you don't know your Chinese astrology and you want to know more about it, there's definitely free Chinese astrology things. Chinese astrology goes by lunar calendar. Our calendar in Western astrology is a Gregorian calendar, which is a solar calendar. So this is a lunar new year, which means that every year the date changes. So it always changes somewhere between January and February in the beginning of the year. And basically it means you would either be, if you were born January, February, you're born right when it so you were either born the year of the ox or the year of the tiger. Okay, just to let you know, during this time. But this is the time of year, this is the 3rd sign in Eastern astrology. This is the 3rd sign in. So the first sign is the year of the rat, and that was 2019, and that was right at the start of COVID. Okay. And then we went into 2020, which was the year of the ox, and then now we're into I'm sorry, I messed that up. 2020 was the rat, 2021 was ox, and now 2022 is tiger. Now there's a story behind what's different between Chinese and astrology. And by the way, it's Vietnamese astrology, it's Thai astrology. In other words, it's Eastern astrology, and that's kind of where they how they celebrate. So it's 2,000 years old, that form of astrology, and it's not based on constellations and all that like it is here in Western astrology. It's based on the energy of the animals. So that's why I like to think of it as a complementary astrology. It's not my main thing, but I kind of use it as a complementary sort of additional element. I don't look at it as either or. I kind of like look at it as a nice little balance. So tigers, you know, what is a tiger like? Well, here's the story. And it's, in Chinese astrology, all the animals had a story. Okay. So the story is there was a great race and they were all like trying to, you know, get wherever they were getting. And the rat was very cunning and very crafty. So the rat actually came in first place. The ox came in second place because it was a tenacious, never give up, slow and steady wins the race kind of a deal. So the rat was cunning, and that's how the rat won. It actually hid at one point in the ox's ear. That's how they kind of got over the finish line. But the third sign in was the tiger. Now, the tiger before the race was very confident, we'll just say, very boastful, very tenacious, like, I'm going to get this. This is no problem for me. I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm fierce. Okay, that's a tiger's energy. And then the tiger got up and looked around thinking that he was the winner, right? And here he found out that the rat and the ox had came in before. So the rat was in third place. So that's how the Chinese astrology got into third place. So that's the energy of the tiger. So the year of the tiger takes on tiger-like energy. Tiger energy is raw, it's adventurous, it's powerful, it's fierce, it's primal. It's more reactive and not really thinking things through very much. Last year was sort of slow and plodding, okay? The year before that with the rat, which was when COVID first started, and, you know, everybody was like, how do I get toilet paper? How do I get all the stuff? You know, da, 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 da. And the ox was kind of like, all right, we got to do this. We're just hunkered down. We're going to do it. Now the rat's like, or now the tiger is like very reactive and a little bit more instinctual in the way that they approach things. They're very adventurous. They're very passionate. But they can be sometimes too quick to react, sometimes too reactive, sometimes get angry too quickly and be too impulsive. So the other thing is, let's face it, cats can get lazy. I mean, yeah, they will expend a quick amount of time hunting, right, and get their prey, and then they eat, and then they go take a nap. And so there's times in this year that we'll be working in spurts and be really busy, and then there's other times that we kind of fizzle out a little bit. Now, I'm going to give you the years that was the year of the tiger. So 2010 was the last one, like I just said. 1998, 1986, 1974, 1962, 1950, and 1938 were all tiger years. Now, each year there was different elements, okay? And like I said, the water tiger is a little bit more of a nicer tiger. A water tiger is more sensitive a tiger. A little bit more of an emotional tiger. A little bit more sweet of a tiger, okay? Just a little bit more empathic. Some tigers, like if this was a year of a fire tiger, watch out. That would be real aggressive. So a water tiger is a little bit more chill, but still a tiger. I mean, we have to face the fact that it's still a tiger. So tigers get along well with dragons, horses, and pigs. So if you were, or you're the boar, whatever, however you want to say it. So if you were born during year of the dragon, year of the horse, or year of the pig, you will get along a little bit better with the tiger year. In other words, this will be a good year for you, just to let you know. So if you know your Chinese astrology, you can know that, or if you want to Google it or whatever, there's a lot of Chinese astrology calendars out there online that you can find out what year you were born. Now, the only thing is tigers don't really get along with oxes or snakes. And the worst unfortunately, that is opposing Tiger directly. So just like, what I'm always talking about, the opposite astrology sign. So the opposite astrology sign is the one that really gets tested, and that's the monkey. So if you were born during year of the monkey, I'm sorry to say this might not be a great year. Now, Chinese astrology has different philosophies than some of the Western astrology, and so one of the things that's very different is that in Chinese astrology, they believe that if you were born during the year of Tiger, then this actually might not be a good year for you. That's very different than Western thinking. Okay, so, but again, we like to think in Western, in the United States and Canada and all that, we like to think more is more. If there's a little bit, we should have even more, and it's going to be even better. But that's not Chinese philosophy. So, in other words, there can be too much of a good thing. So, if you are a tiger in your own native tiger year, this might be a stressful year for you because it's too much energy. That's, again, that is the philosophy of, and I have said that on previous recordings about Western stuff too. Like, if the moon is in your sign, let's say, you might feel initially really good, initially really charged up, or really like empowered, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, it's too much. It's too much of it's just too much. That can be how the astrology is for this period of time as well. So unfortunately, if you're a tiger or a monkey, this might be testing for you really, or like I said, ox or snake. Now there's 12 animal signs, just like there's 12 astrological signs. And if I didn't mention your sign on the broadcast, that means it's a middle of the road year for you. Okay, so it's like not great, but not terrible either. Tigers are said this year to have pretty good, okay money investment, but not great career, not great love. I'm sorry to say, because tigers can be loners, tigers kind of go off and do their own thing. A lot of times they hunt solo, so that can be a stressful time. And tigers have to watch their digestive system and their respiratory system this year. So anyways, that's an overview of the Chinese astrology for the water tiger. We are in it now. Last year was the ox, the year before that was the rat. And so hopefully you will all have a wonderful, happy Chinese New Year. Rawr, go get 'em, tiger. And hopefully you can harness some of that powerful tiger or tigress energy in your life and be able to conquer the things that you want to do. Just remember, slow and steady actually really wins the race. So you might want to watch conserving your energy or giving out too much and then all of a sudden being completely depleted. That's going to be a tiger year sort of problem. So you guys will have to let me know how it goes. Now, again, getting into the rest of the week here, like I said, Thursday is a big day just because Mercury is no longer going to be retrograde, which I covered already. And that's, again, going to happen 11:13 p.m. Eastern time. It'll finally be direct. But remember, it takes a little while for it to get going, so just be patient. Now, Friday is a really big day also, just with planetary energy on the 4th, February 4th. On Friday, Mars is going to form a sextile with Jupiter. And that's a pretty big thing. Mars is in Capricorn, like I said now. Jupiter is going to be in Pisces, and they're going to form a lovely sextile together. And then the Sun is going to be forming a conjunction with Aquarius, because the Sun is in Aquarius and then Saturn's in Aquarius. So the Sun and Saturn coming together, that's going to be a really hard-working day. That could really be a really fortuitous time. Now, I'm talking about that day. Remember, everybody, that energy is going to be active all week. It's not just, it's peaking on that day. That day is the height or the peak of that. The Mars sextile Jupiter will peak at 8:36 a.m. Sun conjunction with Saturn is 2:05 p.m. on Friday Eastern time. But remember, we're going to feel that those two energies are big energies, and we'll feel that almost the whole week. That could be really fortuitous, especially as we get closer to Friday, especially with work, with goal setting, with heart. So we have a lot of goal setting, achievement oriented, work oriented type things. Now, the only thing is, the caveat to that is Mars is the god of war. There's a lot of stuff going on right now with Russia, okay? And Jupiter makes everything bigger. So again, I'm praying and sending good angels and spirit guides, and hopefully the powers that be don't decide to do any kind of thing, because that can stir up warlike energy. But in our own personal charts, the trine is sextile, is very positive, and that can be a real achievement, especially if you are an athlete or someone who is like physically vigorous. So that's a good time for working out and all that type of stuff. But it's a good time for achievement in general. Like it's especially Saturn being there, because Saturn wants things built to last, wants things to be solid, wants things to be thorough, wants things to be methodical, pragmatic, all of that stuff. And so that actually could be helpful in your personal chart. Now, again, it depends on where those planets are in your own personal chart to know how that will affect you. But again, that's double Aquarius energy. Sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius is double Aquarius energy. So whatever it is we're doing, this whole week is really about changing something, thinking outside the box, thinking of a different way to do it, being unique, being different, not really trying to fit in. It's about really being like a trailblazer, someone who really can go in a different way and is unique and interesting. That's very Aquarian energy. So I hope that helps. So we have a lot of Aquarius stuff coming up. So I want to do a very quickly a card for our week. I'm using my Archangel Oracle deck here. And I just want to thank all of you for watching. And if you are still with me in the broadcast, I'd love for you to comment new moon in Aquarius, or if you know your Chinese astrological sign, go ahead and comment that below on my YouTube channel, because that's really helpful. And also make sure that you subscribe, and if you hit the little bell button, the notification button, then you'll get notified whenever I post new videos, which hopefully in this year is going to be a lot more regular. Last year, as some of you know, I was very, very injured, and I'm still working through that. I'm still healing. I'm still doing it's been a long, slow process, but I've been making great strides lately and doing a little bit better, so I'm hoping to continue that as well. So anyway, I want to pull one card for the week. What do we need to know about this new moon, this Chinese New Year, year of the water tiger, Mercury going direct, Venus going direct, and then that big energy, the planetary energy coming on Friday with Saturn and Mars and Jupiter and the Sun. Oh my. Okay, all that good stuff. What do we need to know? What's the most important thing? Oh, we talked a little bit about this with the Chinese New Year, with we have to watch our digestion and our respiratory, and we were talking about healthy lifestyles. I was talking also about Mars, working out and that type of thing. Aquarius, I should mention, is ankles and the the circulatory system of the body. So the veins, how we pump our, blood and all that, is the heart. That's Leo. Remember, Aquarius and Leo are opposites. So our circulation and our blood flow and all that good stuff, and keeping, kind of healthy, having our veins be nice and free from plaque and artery, problems. So this is Archangel Raphael, healthy lifestyle, okay? Archangel Raphael says, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. Okay, this could be a very good week for that, especially with that Mars transit coming on Friday. Very good time to get back into. We're still at the beginning of the year. I know that we're a little past that New Year's resolution type thing, but hello, we have the Chinese New Year. Maybe it's time, maybe it's time for you to eat healthy, get good rest, get good sleep, getting all that stuff, and being mindful of our bodies, because that's very important. So I hope that helps. If you would like to have a personalized astrological session, please send me a text message, or you can send me a message here on YouTube, and I'd be happy to answer. I am booking out a little bit now because I did get backed up. There was a backlog going on because I wasn't working it as much. With my physical injuries, but I'm starting to take on more hours, more clients, and things like that as I get stronger in my own body. So I hope that helps everybody. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy Chinese New Year, happy new moon, and I will see you all soon.